Hello friends, Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com with another wicked recipe for you guys today. Today, and we're speaking about wicked, this is going to be a wicked hot sauce, fiery pepper sauce. In front of me here, I've got some scotch bonnet peppers. There's about 20 of them. I'm going to be using the seeds, the membrane around the seeds, everything, because I want the heat from this. I'm just going to chop that up in a second, but I need everything. But before we begin, protect your hands. Wear some gloves, because the oils and everything from this pepper, once you start handling it, is going to get crazy hot on your skin. If it's the first time watching me here on YouTube, above you're going to see that subscribe thing. Click on it. Below you're going to see where you can leave me your comments, questions, concerns, and do give the video, where it is, the thumbs up or like it. Today we're making a pineapple orange hot sauce or pineapple orange pepper sauce using scotch bonnet peppers, as I said. In front of me here, 20 scotch bonnet peppers, red, yellow, green, whatever color you got, no worries, as long as they're scotch bonnet. Works great with habanero peppers as well. Here I've got 1/4 teaspoon of allspice, a tablespoon of golden brown sugar, 3/4 teaspoon of salt. In the back here, orange juice, just plain old orange juice you buy at the supermarket. I have here 1 cup of orange juice, and back here I've got 1 cup of diced up pineapple, again out of a can. Let me give Dole some props. So it's the pineapple tidbits in pineapple juice, and I also poured the juice in there, so it made up 1 cup of pineapple with pineapple juice. We're just going to go ahead now and prepare this, and I'm going to show you the next step in making this wicked orange pineapple pepper sauce. The very first thing we got to do is chop these guys off. Give it a rough chop. I'm a veteran in this. I can handle these peppers and they don't do my hands anything, but trust me, you're going to need gloves, or at least rub a coat of vegetable oil over your hands. It will become fiery. So all we're doing is giving these peppers a rough chop. And remember, most of that heat is going to be in the seeds area here. So I want that. If you don't want all the fire, all that heat, you can certainly trim around it like this and discard this part here, but I'm going to keep all of it. I'm just going to continue. Whoa, and that scent, that heat, that vibe, that Caribbean sunshine is straight up my nose right now. I'm just going to go ahead, continue chopping these guys up, and then we're going to get to the next step of pureeing everything before we actually cook it a bit, so we can allow it to last a fair bit of time. I've got all the chopped up hot peppers, all that scotch bonnet pepper is in my food processor now. So I'm just going to add the other ingredients. So in goes the brown sugar, the salt, the allspice, the orange juice, because we need liquid in here to be able to puree this. Because I'm going to do this rather smooth, because I want it to be able to work in a squeeze bottle, just for squeezing onto meats and fish and whatever else I'm going to be using. And finally, the pineapple with the liquid as well. Now, in the event we need to add any more liquid here, you can add some more orange juice, or you can add some vinegar. I much prefer sticking with the orange juice. So what we're going to do here now is to puree this or blend it down. If you have a blender, feel free to use a blender. We're just going to blitz this now. I'm going to start off by just pulsing, because I want to break this down, but I don't want it to go all the way at first. So after pulsing now, I noticed that it still needs a little bit more liquid, so I'm going to add about 1/2 cup more of that orange juice. I've added a 1/2 cup more orange juice, as I said, so now I'm going to go on high, because I'm still seeing it's fairly chunky. I want this to be nice and smooth. It took about 5 minutes on high for me to get to the consistency that I want. It's fairly runny, fairly liquid, because I'm going to be putting it into one of these squeeze bottles here. So I need it to be a bit runny. Now, if you wanted it to be thicker, you can obviously add less orange juice to this, but what we're going to do now, since we didn't put any vinegar or any sort of preservatives into this, we're going to cook this for about 10 minutes or so in a saucepan. So that's what I'm going to show you now. Be very careful when you're pouring it into your saucepan, because you don't want this guy coming back on you, because this will hurt your eyes, will hurt your face. It is very hot, because remember, we use about 20 of those scotch bonnet peppers. All I'm going to do now is put it on my burner, bring it up to a boil, and then let it simmer for about 10 minutes. It's now come up to a boil here, so I'm going to turn that down to a simmer. I want that to simmer for 10 minutes. What we're doing here is pretty much cooking it so it will last longer once you store it. Once it cools down, so after 10 minutes, once it cools down, I'm going to bottle that into my plastic container. However, if you're jarring this as you would jar preserves, when it's hot, you can go ahead and jar that. What we're also doing by cooking it here is we want the natural sugars from the pineapple as well as the brown sugar that I added to form a sort of a syrup in there. So we're going to get a sweet savory sort of side to this hot sauce or pepper sauce. Once this is simmered for 10 minutes, I'll show you guys exactly the consistency and everything it should be. It simmered away for about 15 minutes. I went a few minutes longer than I really wanted to. It smells wickedly amazing. The spiciness of that pepper, the goodness of that orange juice and the pineapple. I gave it a taste. Salt was perfect. Look at the consistency here. Nice and smooth. Look at that. Just Gonna get me some barbecued chicken tonight, and I'm gonna enjoy this orange pineapple pepper sauce made from fresh scotch bonnet peppers. I'm going to allow it to cool, then I'm going to bottle it, leave it in the fridge, and it should last up to about a month or so in the fridge. If you guys want, if yours is not as smooth as this, what you can do, after you cook it and it cools down a bit, you can puree it a little bit more in the food processor or blender if you want it more smooth. Chris here, CaribbeanPot.com. Thanks a lot for joining me in the kitchen today, guys. I know you guys are going to love this, but be careful. This thing is pure fire. This is like dynamite in a pot. Trust me, you're going to love it.